Hello, Sign here with Hobbies Man. Once again, today we're going to be doing another set of first impressions reviews. Today we're going to be looking at 3 different manga that just recently released on Manga Plus. And I was going to do them as separate videos, but then I realized that there really is no point because just the way it works out for me in time just doesn't work. So I'm just going to do them all in one go. And I'm going to leave specific chapters, which are, timestamps for each of these so you guys can check out which one you want. So I'm going to do Kindergarten Wars first. Then My Girlfriend Gives Me Goosebumps second, and then Blooming Love third. So, feel free to check out the one you want. And like I said, I'll leave the timestamps down in the description, but they should show up on your video when you hover above the video. It should show you like these little lines across the progress bar, right? So there you go. Let's start with Kindergarten Wars. Today we're going to be looking at it. And it's written by Yu Chiba, who I don't know. And this basically follows this girl called Rita, who is an ex-convict and a high-level assassin, and a kindergarten teacher. So it's pretty interesting because her job in this kindergarten is not just to be a teacher and take care of these children, but also to foil assassination attempts and plans for these kids, because they work at a very specific place that houses all of the famous children, or all of the children of famous people. And so these kids are always in danger. And so they use these ex-convicts to help them protect these children, right? So her job is to protect them and also to foil any plans to assassinate them or kidnap them. And if she manages to succeed for a year and there's no problems going on, she will get a reduced sentence. She'll probably get to go free. And along the way, her personal goal is also to find herself a man to try to settle down with, because she's getting to that point in her life where she wants to do that. So it's pretty interesting. The character design is basically kind of in the same lines as Makima or Miss Kobayashi. It's kind of that cute office lady vibe with red hair, and I quite like her. She mostly leans in the Miss Kobayashi kind of side of things instead of Makima, but I really like that type of character design, and I really like this character as well. She's also really, really funny and ridiculous, and I quite enjoy that. So it's a very good premise. It's pretty funny, and I think it has a lot going for it because right now there's kind of a boom in these kind of like protect the children kind of thing, with these kind of like action set pieces behind that, like Spy Family, like Buddy Daddies, like Sakamoto Days kind of has that same vibe sometimes, and other series like that. So I think it's coming out at the right time, and it's doing a lot of good stuff there, and I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a really awesome action sequences. It reminded me a little bit of the way that the art style kind of pushes itself past its boundaries for action scenes in Mashle, where it's kind of like cutesy and ridiculous and kind of simple, and then it gets like really awesome and hardcore for a little bit, and then it goes back, and it does this repeatedly over the chapter in order to kind of provide these really awesome vibes while you're reading, right? So I really enjoyed this one a lot. I'm definitely going to keep up with this because I think it's also already been releasing in Japan and doing really well. So Manga Plus is just behind, and they're kind of getting up to getting caught up, and it seems like it's going to be a really fun series. So there you go. That's Kindergarten Wars. And let's talk about My Girlfriend Gives Me Goosebumps now. Written by Shunsuke Ino. That is I-I-N-O. And I guess his name would actually be Shunsuke. I don't know. Sometimes it's like Sasuke. Some people say Sasuke. Some people say Sasuke. It doesn't really matter. The point is that, that's their name. So, yeah. This one is interesting. It's kind of odd. It's basically if like a sadist and a yandere got together. Because we follow this guy called Haruka. And he is this very weird adrenaline junkie. He was a child, and he fell off a window. And during the moments that he was falling, he had this amazing rush and this kind of crazy acceleration that he never got to feel again, ever, in his life. And he's constantly chasing after this high that he got from this experience. And he's never actually been able to do that, even though he has managed to become an adrenaline junkie and enjoy a lot of adrenaline, kind of fueled situations, but he wants something better. And so he does these things in order to do that. Eventually, somehow, his excitement leads him to kind of go in a situation where he probably shouldn't have stuck his nose in, and ends up saving this girl, Tokano, from this other girl that was bullying her for, maybe justifiable reasons, I guess. And this creates this weird connection between him and Tokana. And it's because Tokana is basically a yandere of sorts. She's someone that gets really infatuated and obsessed with a certain person. And then she tries to make the other person feel the same way she does. And so it kind of causes a lot of issues, right? However, for some weird quirk of fate, Haruka finds this to accelerate him in the same way that near-death experience did when he was a child. And so he asks her to be his girlfriend. And so we get this really weird psychological kind of like codependent romance story. And I'm pretty interested in it. However, I want to say that I don't really love the art style. And when it comes to rom-com and slice of life type stories, I feel like the art style is really important. And this one doesn't really manage to capture my interest all that much. Because it doesn't feel creepy enough to match the situation, but it also doesn't really feel cute enough to be like off-putting, and so it doesn't really mesh with what the story is telling me, and I don't really find it to be all that amazing. I think it's pretty middling, and that kind of sucks for that, but I do think I'm going to read a few more chapters of this before I really decide, because it is pretty interesting, right? So there you go. Moving on to the last one here, we're looking at Blooming Love by Daiichi Kawada, And this one is pretty simple. It's kind of like a blue period type story where there's two people. One of them is a kid that's like an artist. He draws really well. However, because he's in the art club, he got saddled with his job, which is to create these little pieces of furniture that are necessary for the school. But he sucks at craftsmanship. He's very bad at carpentry, and he's not really able to do these boxes all that well. While he's in the art room kind of doing this, there's a girl that's next to him who's very diligently trying to draw something, but she's very bad at it. And she sees him and realizes that this guy has no clue what he's doing. So she has this attitude about her, kind of like a delinquent vibe, but she's very nice and gentle. And she goes up to him and she's like, hey man, you're doing all this wrong. Let me show you how it's done. And she does it, and she does it really fast. And she makes this really beautiful bit of furniture. It's kind of like a mailbox, I guess, it's sort of. And so he's like, damn, you did this really well. Let me help you with your piece of artwork. And then he does it for her. And she kind of gets frustrated, but also kind of flustered in kind of like a cutesy way. And so she kind of runs away very quickly after getting her book back. And that's basically all there is in the chapter. But this means that it basically starts this very interesting kind of artsy rom-com. And I find it to be pretty cool because I really enjoy rom-coms. But, you know, after a certain time and a while, the gimmick needs to exist, and then the gimmick needs to evolve. So I feel like this will be pretty cool because ultimately it's about two people following a passion that they're not good at, or maybe about kind of finding someone that completes them in a different way, and you get to see this through their abilities and their skills working for what they end up having to do, right? So I think it's pretty interesting. I'm very excited about this one. There's more chapters of this available already because it released in like 3-chapter batches. So that's cool, but I didn't bother checking out the next 2 chapters. I only read the first one to keep it fair to all the other series. So there you go. That's my thoughts on Blooming Love, and it's also my thoughts on all the other 2 series that I mentioned. So there you go. Let me know if you guys have read any of them and what you thought about them, and thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.